It's funny, I'm trying to navigate through all this stuff. Come on in if you're out there. Going to get started real shortly. Yeah, this is my joint. This is my joint here. Yeah. Gonna get started. Just a few seconds. This is my joint. Come again. I gotta figure out how to set this up. I love this song. This song just does something to me. All right, shut this joint down. Tears of the Sun. I love Hans Zimmer. I don't know if you're familiar with him. He does a lot of soundtracks for a lot of motion pictures, and the guy is just like off the charts. And this is one of my favorite pieces. It just gets me going. But welcome. Almost ran out of time. You know, when I made the decision to get back doing videos again, I said, you know what, I'll start off doing 2 videos a week. And I was going to do a late nights with Ace yesterday, but my time was preoccupied somewhere else. And so my Saturday ran out, and then Sunday came and I'm like, but guess what? I came into the office, had to get caught up on some things, and decided to put this show together. So I want to welcome you. Thank you for being here, spending time with me on a special Sunday, the LionsGate Sunday 8/8/2021. We're going to spend some time and talk about that in this show today. So I want to welcome you here. Definitely, drop a like on the video, share it if you find it beneficial for you, and just want to get the word out. So want to talk about some things that I've been seeing with humanity. And this past week, it just seems like some tension is just, shot up, especially with a lot of things surrounding with the vaccine and how people are on both sides of it. But I don't want to really focus in on that. I want to focus in on the time that we're navigating through right now, especially with this new energy that's hitting the planet. It seems as though there are 2 different timelines, major timelines that are taking place on the planet right now. You have a timeline where there are a number of people that are subscribing to fear, worry, anxiety, and they're really locked into that vibration. And then on the other side, you have another set of people that are really locked into optimism, love, peace, vibration, and operating in their personal power. And what's interesting is that right now on the planet, they're both vibing. They're both like the frequencies of both of them is just going in and out, and it's existing at the same time. And it's causing, I think it's just causing a lot of confusion for people. So as you look around and you see individuals, acting out on one side, on maybe on one issue, and individuals on another side of the issue, it's causing some tension. So, fam, I want you to understand as we move forward with this new energy that's coming onto the planet, this is pretty normal. Pretty normal with what's going on. What's up, brother Shan? Thanks for plugging in, sir. Glad to have you, man. Hey, man, love spending time with you yesterday. It's one of my partners out of Michigan, and spent some time, broke some bread with him yesterday. Appreciate you plugging in, man. We definitely got to get back together on what transpired yesterday. But thanks for being here. So, yeah, fam, as we move through and as we navigate this time, understand that everything that we're seeing is perfectly normal. Perfectly normal. Like, this isn't something, this is supposed to happen. The best thing that we can do is continue to take personal inventory as to what's going on with our own energy. And that's what I want to really take some time this Sunday and really talk to you about, is as you see the breakdown of society, as you see people, coming at other people from the left, and you see the emotions flare up, whether it's anger, bitterness. As we see all this, we always have to take personal inventory as to what's really, really going on with us. What's up, Annette? Holy fire in the house. What's up, lady? Thanks for being here. I hope everything went well with the Holy Fire session over there. Annette's one of my partners with Forever Phoenix, and this weekend she was doing a class on Holy Fire, and that's a whole nother show, fam. But thanks for being here, lady. Appreciate it. So again, we got to take some self-inventory as to really what's going on with our personal energy as we see all of this stuff orbiting around us and tensions flaring up, and people just are really out of their mind on a number of different things. We definitely need to take some personal inventory. So understand there are two timelines that are vibing right now on planet Earth, and it's bubbling to the surface. And my interpretation of it is that what's happening is we're seeing some of the old paradigms coming down and some of the new ones coming up. And it's happening at the same time. And it creates an uncomfortability for some people, because people are like, what the hell is really going on? Okay. So as you're seeing it, just I tend to watch things a little longer than I normally would, to try to get a feeling within me as to what's going on with the situation before I speak on it. Okay, because those are just the times that we're in. And the other thing that I'm really cautious about is who I'm giving my power away to. Our personal power is so important. I think last year, people gave away their personal power to politicians, the government, the media, celebrities, entertainers. I think a lot of our power was given away to these institutions and to these individuals. And we really didn't go within and search within ourselves on a number of these issues. It's kind of like, okay, well, if such and such said it, it must be true. If a Republican said it, it must be true. If a Democrat said it, it must be true. This, that, and the other. And it's so easy to give our power away. I fell into that myself. 2020, I gave a lot of my power away. And coming out of the tail end of that, I said, never again. I've got to do a better job allowing things to go within me, marinate and simmer, examine my own truth before I just give it away because of somebody that's looking good on a television screen, sitting behind a desk. Not doing that no more. So As we move forward, expect more of this. Remember, the old's coming down, the new is coming up. And we have to be mindful that, yes, both of these are existing and taking place at the same time. And there's going to be a tug of war. What we have to do is remain centered in our truth, in our own convictions, so we don't get caught up jumping into the fire, jumping into the fight. That's what we have to do. That's what we have to do as human beings, and understand that our personal power, our personal energy is so important that it literally can affect our day. Because every day we wake up, there are really two timelines you jump into. One timeline is that the world is dark, the world is negative, the world is against me, I'm a victim. And the other timeline is, nah, I'm about to get out here and have the best day of my life. I'm going to get out here and roll the way I need to roll and not allow all the noise to impact my peace. Those are literally the two timelines you jump into. And that's not to say that issues are not going to show up on either side. Okay. There are plenty of days that I start my day and I'm ready to go, and I just get hit with one thing after another. But by me starting my day with the intention that, hey, I'm going to have a good day today, when those issues show up, I'm allowed to get right back into my center and deal with those issues that they come up in a very surgical, strategic way where I don't give my power away. Versus I wake up, the world is shitty, everybody's against me, the world's falling apart, A, B, C, D, and E. And then when things start to happen, it just does what? All it does is validate what I put out there in the beginning. It always goes back to individual choice. Always goes back. So again, I believe that there's just an evolution of things that are taking place right now on the planet, and we as individuals, we have to really guard our power. So as we explore this more, my question to you is, well, how do you determine what truth is? I was having this conversation with somebody the other day, and I said, well, how do you know what you hear is true? I don't care where you hear it from. How do you determine what truth is? Is it because you hear it and then, oh, it must be true because they wouldn't lie to me? Like, what is the process that you take information in and determine its truth? Because, fam, I'm going to tell you something. How you go about that process literally affects your frequency within. They're still trying to figure out who killed JFK. So nobody knows. There's all these different arguments: one shooter, six shooters, eight shooters, the mob took them out, the government took them out. Like, when we hear the so-called news, what do we know? How do we know what we're hearing is truth? How do you go about breaking that down and coming up with it and making it part of your own conviction? I've been spending so much time getting rid of things that were taught to me that are no longer truth in my life. How do we know? How do we trust the government? How do we trust politicians? How, like, where, how do you come up with your truth meter? Because normally, we, the people, the ones that are fighting against each other, We pay for the price on things normally years later when we find out, oh wow, they ran another agenda on us. But yet we're the ones infighting. We never recognize that in the moment that you and we're the same. All we want is really the best for our families. And we want to be able to go out here and live the best possible life and have the best possible experience possible. But a lot of times we fight each other. And in that fighting, who do you think wins ultimately? If you and I can't have a discussion and be on two different sides of the debate, ultimately, who do you think that benefits? So I would just ask you to consider when you get information, and I don't care where you get it from, determine the process that you put that information through. And I think the biggest thing I would ask you to consider is, how do you feel about it? Is it really lining up with your truth? Now, there's a segment of the population that are going to hear anything and just believe it. Can't get away from that. And that's not a bad thing. It's not a good thing. It's just, it is what it is. But I think what's happening is that there's so many people that are waking up. They're just looking at things and absorbing things from a whole different angle. And that's why we need to talk more. I was thinking last year, what would happen if we didn't have the media report on anything for 90 days? Like, how would that affect us? I think it would be powerful. I actually think we would come together more if we didn't have the media at all for 90 days. I think the vibration of the planet actually will go up. Remember, there is power in keeping us separated. There is power in keeping us isolated. There is power in you and I not having a conversation. But you always have to go a layer deeper and ask, well, who's benefiting from you and I not being able to talk? And talking doesn't mean that we agree, but being able to have a civilized conversation. We can be on both sides, but the flow of information. It's almost as if they want us all to tune into them, and then we fight amongst each other. So how do you disseminate your truth? How do you bring your truth into you? And what's that process? And then when you do have your truth, how do you handle your truth when you run up against someone that believes something different? Is it then a confrontation, or can we agree to disagree? Because we're being taught that, no, you got to dig in, hold your ground, and let's fight each other. That's what's happening right now. It's like, my truth is the only truth that matters, and what you're talking about, that, no. And that's what we have to get away from that. And it's just bubbling up. It's just bubbling up. Me, I'm not really worried about it. I was last year, but I'm not worried about it because I feel that this is the state it needs to go through. There's going to be turmoil before something really, really evolves to the point where we get to the next level. It's always uncomfortable. You don't grow through perfection, you grow through pain. If you look at anything that's ever matured or evolved in any situation, there's always been some resistance. There's always been some fight. There's always been some contention. It's just a natural process. And guess what? Now humanity is going through it collectively. But I want you to really spend some time and think through, how do I process information that I get, and how do I put it through this truth meter and make it my own? Because I'm not giving anybody my truth at all. No truth power over me. I'm not giving a politician, a government, a celebrity, I'm not giving any of them power. When I get information, if it doesn't resonate with me, then I'm not just going to latch onto it. And there are times I hear things and I just don't know. I don't have enough information, so I don't even make a judgment about it. We have got to protect our power. We've got to protect our energy, because if we don't have a vision for our own selves, they will gladly sell us theirs. And it's prepackaged, and it's called fear. It's called anxiety. It's called don't talk to your neighbor. It's called don't talk to anyone. You get your information from us and leave everybody else alone. Don't talk to your neighbor. Don't get involved with anything in your community, your neighborhood. And by all means, every human being you see, they're your enemy. That's the vision they want to sell us. And if we're not careful, we can easily latch onto it. There's a shift happening right now. I was on Facebook a couple days ago, and this video just came at me, and I don't know why. It just did. And I saw these two ladies fighting. And what was so interesting is that one of the ladies was in a wheelchair with one leg, and the other lady just bum rushed her throughout the wheelchair. And I'm thinking to myself, what frequency do you have to get to fight somebody in a wheelchair with one leg? And I couldn't hear in the video, what was going on and what led to it. But I'm thinking to myself, you know what? That energy exists. Like the energy of just fighting someone, it exists. And again, it goes back to where we are as a human race. And I said this in one of my previous shows, we're a very primitive species. And that includes me, very primitive in our thinking, very primitive on how we go about solving issues that we have with one another. We have not reached the point yet where we recognize that you are me and I'm you. We still struggle with that. And so there's so many frequencies in our energy meter, and all of us have this Hitler potential in us. And again, if we're not really protecting our power, if we're really not examining how we are and how we carry ourselves, it's very easy to lose ourselves in the moment over something very small and give our power away. I don't know. Could I ever get to a point where I fight somebody in a wheelchair? I guess anything is possible, but it's like, what? I stopped watching years ago. I used to get a lot of these fights on YouTube. And then one day I just stopped watching it. It no longer matches My energy. It's no longer funny to me. At one time it was. At one time it was like, okay, these people are beating each other up. Today I look at it and be like, wow, it no longer matches my energy. There was a point in time where I would be able to watch movies and see a headshot and everything would be okay. I can't watch them like that anymore. So I know that there's some things going on with me that have allowed me to evolve because I'm noticing changes in my energy, changes in my frequency. And at first it was like, well, Ace, if you're becoming sensitive to that, what does that say about you? No, I'm still going to protect my family if something, somebody tries to do something stupid, but I'm moving further away from that energy of violence. I'm moving further away from that energy of, something happens, we use violence to solve it. Anybody can be beat up on any given day. We probably don't think that, but on any given day, either you and I can get beat up. So if that's like you beat somebody up, okay, like what? Does it make you the winner better? Primitive thinking aligned with primitive energies or energies that do not allow us to be at our best. You have to watch for that. So I want to talk about the LionsGate Portal. Really excited about what's taking place today, 8/8/2021. If you are watching this video live, guys, today is a freaking awesome day. The LionsGate Portal has to do with new energy, cosmic energy flowing through and coming on planet Earth. And it's very significant because every day, just understand, more and more people are waking up, more and more people are waking up to their truth, more and more people are waking up to their authenticity. I know you probably heard about energy, law of attraction. I feel like the next level is authenticity, where people are just being who they are in their authentic self. And I think when we hit people starting being their authentic selves, a lot of these other issues are going to disappear. So I'm loving this new energy. Couldn't sleep last night. I probably had about an hour, 2 hours of sleep. And I know it was this energy. So the flowing of this new cosmic energy coming into our physical reality and our physical realm is what today is all about. And this new energy promotes heart healing. It promotes abundance. The number 8/8/2021. Well, 8 is an infinity number. So 8 speaks to infinity when it comes to abundance, when it comes to our power, when it comes to our confidence, when it comes to us manifesting this right here. And I think it started right around the end of July, this wave of new energy that's coming on the planet, and it ends August 12th. So this is the time where you really just want to sink in and spend a little bit more time with yourself, just analyzing, hey, what's going on with me? How much time do you spend with yourself personally? I used to be an individual just used to wake up, take a shower, head to the job, head to the workplace, and then I would just react to the different things that happened to my life. And there was very little time for me taking time out with me, taking time out with my own thoughts, taking time out with the matters that were close to my heart. And a lot of humanity is like that. We just wake up, spring out of bed, and we let the environment that we're in dictate what takes place in our personal lives. We let the environment and what takes place in the media dictate what's going on in our personal lives. So this new energy that's coming in, it's creating opportunities for more of us to wake up, more of us to take advantage of the personal power that we already have in ourselves. And when we can tap into our personal power, what does that lead to? It leads to a better quality of life, a better experience in your life. That's what it does. And that's why this time is so profound. So tap into it. Understand that you came to this planet with everything already wired in you. But we try to make change outside of ourselves. I want to change that. I want to change that. I want to change that over there. So we try to make all these changes exteriorly in our exterior, not recognizing that the true change has to take place within. So this is a profound day. So today, my meditation went a little over. I meditated for an hour, and then I went back into another meditation just based on this LionsGate portal to really take advantage of this new energy by setting the intentions. So focus on what you want to manifest. I would take some time today and I would get a pen and pad and I would be writing out the very things that I choose to bring into my experience. And I would write them out in the present tense. I am so happy and grateful now that I have fill in the blank. Now that this has fill in the blank has taken place in my life, bam, bam, bam. I am thankful that I'm now start putting your intentions and writing them out in present tense. And you want to do it right around this time. How much time do you spend literally setting intentions for what you choose to experience in your reality? Because if you're not doing it for yourself intentionally, trust me, there are forces that they are more than welcome. They're more than happy to step up to the plate and do it for you. They've already been doing it. Images are very important. What we visualize is very important. And if you see something enough over and over and over and over and over again, yes, it has the power to change your energy and to transform you into something that you're really not. But because you see it over and over again, then it becomes part of who you are. And that's why it's so important for us to set from within our very own intentions and our very own choices and realities that we want to experience. I don't want the media part of my life. I'm sorry. I don't. I don't want the government part of my life. I'm sorry, I don't. And that's not to say that there's not a place for that, but I don't feel they have a place to tell me what to do with my heart and what to do with my mind. Anybody. And if we're not careful, it's very easy to fall into someone else's vision and abandon our own. And that's literally how it starts. It starts off small, and then as time goes on, it becomes easier and easier to control. Then it starts affecting how we think. Then it starts affecting how I interact with you and how you interact with me. So let's use this time. Let's use this segment of time with this new energy coming in to reset ourselves and to take advantage of the power that we have within. It's a great time to plug into the activations that are taking place on this planet. And in addition to clearly articulating the very choices and the manifestations that you choose to experience in your life, the other thing I would ask you to do, which is just as important, is spend some time with yourself and ask, what does your heart need to let go of? What does my heart really need to release? Who do I need to truly forgive and let go of? I bet you there are a couple people that you have in your energy, all up in your energy, that you either haven't forgiven, or if you have forgiven, you haven't let go of. And you're carrying that with you. You see, if your energy is consumed with me, if you've given me that power, then I'm taking up space in your energy field, where that field or that part of your space could be occupied with something else: more love, more motivation, more inspiration, more individual power to experience more of what you want to experience. So great, put your manifestation list together, but also ask, what do I need to heal? What does my heart need to let go of? What are some of the things that are burdening me right now? Or who are some of the people? And you may be asking, well, Ace, how do you let go of people? It's very simple. You forgive them, you forgive yourself, and you forgive the situation. And say, I let it go in love and light. Believe it or not, yours truly, I have been doing that every day, probably for the last month. No names, please, but I forgive this individual, I forgive myself, forgive the situation, and I choose to let it go. And every day it gets a little bit easier because I'm setting the intention, the genuine intention, to deal with this individual in this particular way. I forgive them, I forgive myself, I forgive the situation, and I choose to let this go. The other thing you can do is say, hey, I choose to let go any past energy or any past programs that no longer serve me. Choose to let them go. Now, the key to this is, when you do that exercise, you have to know that as soon as you declare something to the universe, more of it is going to bubble up, because now you've brought it front and center and into the attention field. So you have to keep doing it. And as time goes on, it gets easier and easier and easier. A number of years ago, I had a situation with an individual that, I don't know, for whatever reason, he was saying some things about me, not true. And I got caught up in my feelings and all that. And I said, you know what? I said, I'm going to forget this guy. This guy was hitting me up. You know, you ever have an individual, they'll talk behind your back, but they're still trying to be your friend? And I'm asking myself, like, why is this guy trying to talk to me, and he's saying all these lies behind me about my back, behind my back? And so I remember I was in a meditation, and they said, look, just forgive him. And I went through that sequence. I forgive myself, and I forgive the situation. I let it go. Do you know he just stopped contacting me? Literally, just out of the blue. Like, he was on it was almost, I feel it's almost he had it in his to-do list to contact Ace like every other day, because it was happening. Like, hey, give me a call, man. You need to look at this, need to look at that. I'm like, dude, I don't want to deal with you because I know where your energy is. And I'm thinking, okay, ignoring him would be one way to get rid of him. But some people are persistent. The more you ignore them, the more they step up their game trying to reach you. So, yeah. And I did that exercise, and lo and behold, he stopped reaching out to me. And I was like, wow, just like that. And just like that, I was cleared of that energy. And I didn't wish him any bad luck, nothing. I wished him the best, actually, because the revenge part of me, it's no longer there. I wish him the best. So we have to start clearing some of that out, because when we hold a energetic grudge against another human being, against another soul, guys, it's really energy within us, and it's very dense and it's very heavy, and it affects us. It affects our mood, it affects our health, it affects everything. It affects how you treat other people, and it affects how you see another person. Because if I hold this energy about this guy because of something he did to me, and let's say he looks like you, well, guess what? I'm subconsciously, I'm going to attract that to me subconsciously. And I don't even know you like that. But because you look like this person and your mannerisms, I subconsciously automatically link you guys up. So now I'm treating you different because of something, some energy that I'm holding with this other person. So we have to constantly clear our energy. Forgiveness does not mean that you're giving a person a pass. A lot of people have that construed. I was one of them. I'm like, I'm not forgiving them. No. Forgiveness has everything to do with you cleaning and clearing your space. You're not giving them a pass. You're not going to do business with them next week. You're not going to pump it up with them in a month from now. No, it's about, no, I need to get this entity or this energy that's connected to this individual out of my energy field. I want it out of my aura. I want it out of my space. I want my space to be full of peace. I want it to be full of joy, full of love, and I want to be at my best. But if I'm holding an argument in my head of something that took place a year ago, which is nothing but energy, and I lodge that in my system around my heart, it affects everything else. And that's what they're doing to us. Every time we see a negative story, what do? If we're not careful, we let that story, it becomes part of who we are. We take that energy in. Then we hold that energy. And if we hold it collectively, it even has more power. Why do you think they never show in the media any great stories? You ever think about that? Very seldom great stories. There are a lot of them taking place. They show very few stories of humanity at its best. We get the dirtiest, the darkest, we get the worst of the worst. Because they want us to carry that collectively. Because if you're carrying it and I'm carrying it, and the majority of us are carrying this energy, they got us. And now let's feed it. Let's feed that energy. Let's make it heavier and heavier and heavier. Now I meet you, let's say at a ball game, and you do something twisted. Oh, I'm coming at you from left field. You ever been triggered and you don't know why? Like, what the hell I do that for? Well, you're carrying this energy. Sometimes it's collective, sometimes it's not. You're carrying this energy that's buried so deep down in you, and it just takes something very small to trigger it. And you're in a whole different time. You're in a whole different timeline. See, what we have to understand is this. And again, this is my belief. There's 8 billion people on this planet. Every single one of us has our own individual reality that's going on. So the way you wake up in the morning and the way I wake up in the morning, it's two different realities. And there's so many different variations of it. How you go about your day is a lot different than how I go about my day, and vice versa. What's feeding that reality is what they've figured out. And if they can feed it with enough fear, feed it with enough anxiety, feed it with enough separation, feed it with enough loneliness, isolation, that's the best weapon on the planet. They don't have to fire one bullet. Because when I start trusting you and you stop trusting me for no reason, they got us. And it's because of the energy we're holding. And that's not to suggest that bad things don't happen on the planet. I am not saying that. I understand that. Trust me, we can talk about bad shit all day long. But you know what? At my age, I've seen enough bad shit. I no longer want to focus on that. I want to focus on healing. I want to focus on unifying. I want to focus on bringing us together. I want to focus on the color of our skin not being an issue in freaking 2021. Primitive. That's what I want to focus on. I want to focus on how we can work together. I want you to honor your religion, whatever it is, whether you're atheist, Muslim, Buddhist, Christian, spirituality, you should be able to hold that and hold it in your truth. And if I'm somewhere on the opposite end of the spectrum, we should still be able to break bread and hang out to cookout. Just because I got vaccinated and you didn't get vaccinated doesn't make us enemies. That's where we got to get to, fam. So take this time and utilize it to get yourself together. Think through what's going on with you and forget the past. I remember when I first started meditating 20 years ago, it was like, I've done so much shit in my life. Like, you know, like God's never going to forgive me. You know, I mean, I've done some dirt in my life, done some dirt. But I realized over time that number one, there's nothing but love out here. And as time went on, I started to realize that, Ace, you're a work in progress. Your story doesn't stop. So now I look back and I'm like, okay, I'm now doing good deeds. I'm now a better person. I still make mistakes every day. I'm not a saint. Made a mistake this morning. But I'm starting to recognize that it's okay. As long as I recognize, hey, I made a mistake, what can I do to get better? And we have to be able to give each of us the opportunity for that. In the last show, I was talking about the fact that I had an issue with transgender people. Major issue. Had an issue with people that were gay years ago. I had to work through that. I no longer hold that energy. We have to be able to look at each other and give that space. And that's not to say that I'm going to turn the other cheek if you hit me. No, I'm going to hit you back. It's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is that at the end of the day, we sometimes need to just calm down a little bit and figure out What else can we do to get through this? We have to figure out how we can come together, because I firmly believe that humanity is in the majority as far as we just want to live in peace. I really believe that. You're not going to hear that from your media, though. You're not going to hear it from them. You're going to hear that individually, we're all enemies to each other. That's what you're going to hear. You're not going to get any supporting arguments saying, hey, people are coming together. They don't want you to see it or to know about it. It's got to be all bad. So in closing, I want you to consider this. Consider making your truth only lie within your energy. You should be the authority to your life, not some news broadcaster, not some entertainer, not even Ace. All I'm doing is sharing information. What I'm doing is sharing my truth. But that's not to say that you're supposed to agree with it or believe it. It's not what I'm saying at all. You might be looking at this and be like, this joker is out of his effing mind. And that's fine. You're entitled to that. And guess what? I honor your truth if that's the way you feel. But the issue comes in where if you don't believe what somebody else says, then they got a problem with you, or vice versa. So let's be the authority of our own lives. Let's take our own authority back. You don't have to go out. You don't have to ask permission to go outside and play anymore. You figure that out within yourself. You don't have to turn on the TV anymore I'm showing my age. We just turn the TV on. You do it with remotes now. You don't have to turn the TV on anymore to determine if you can go to the park and walk around. Let's start making our own decisions with ourselves. Let's start taking our personal power back. Because I'm going to tell you something. If you take your personal power back and I take my personal power back, and we now get together, you're going to find that we have a lot more in common because we don't have something else yapping in our ear telling us what's really going on. So let's take our personal power back. 8/8/2021 people, the LionsGate today. Take some time. Take about 15 minutes today if you're watching this. Sit down with yourself, total quietness, get away from the phone, take some personal inventory with what's going on with your life, set some intentions, true intentions in the present tense of what you want to, or what you choose to experience in your reality. Make up a short list of some individuals that you need to forgive. I forgive you. I forgive myself. I forgive the situation. I'm going to let this go. Let go of any energy or any program from the past that no longer serves you. And spend that 15 minutes with yourself every day doing that. And I promise you in the next 30 days, you're going to see a better quality in your life and your experience, how you go about your day, and more importantly, how you interact with other people. Because everyone you see is a shadow of you. Because at the end of the day, we're all one. Hey, that's my time. Love and respect. Love being here with all of you. I'll be back here. Actually, I got affirmations tomorrow. I got an affirmation series that you're more than welcome to plug into. Started this series a couple weeks ago to help individuals put affirmations directly into their reality that they choose to experience. I'll be back with my affirmation for this week coming up that you can take advantage of. and then I'll be back sometime later on this week coming up with another video. Okay. Love and respect. And I look forward